Hello everyone, it's time for Good Week Israel, where we will give you ILTV's latest positive highlights. So get ready to smile because coming up, could our understanding of history be totally wrong? Archaeological researchers discovering an ancient love story between modern humans and Neanderthals. Theater is returning to Israel, so what are the upcoming shows? And stay tuned because we'll be making Lebanese Arayas. Now, an ancient love story just recently revealed by Israeli archaeological experts. The researchers publishing evidence found in the Israeli Negev desert of a 50,000-year-old meet-cute between Homo sapiens, or modern humans, and their Neanderthal cousins. Proof that the two species apparently not only intermingled, but reproduced. And of course, to provide us with all the details, I'm joined now for the latest installment of Can You Dig It? With Israeli tour guide Anat Harel. Anat, it is a pleasure to have you back with us. Where did Neanderthals come from exactly, and what were they doing in the Negev desert?
Hi, Aaron. So nice to see you again. So we have to go back about 1,800,000 years ago, when Homo erectus was the first hominid that walks out of Africa, all right? So they walk out of Africa and they spread into Europe and they spread into Asia and eventually to Australia. And that's where they live for over 1 million years, evolving and evolving. And eventually some of the branches become the Neanderthals. The Neanderthals start about 250,000 years ago, mostly living in Europe and Asia. Eventually, they make their way down south into the Levant, and that's where we live, right? We are on the Eastern Mediterranean, and we in Israel have found remains of the Neanderthals up to about 50,000 years ago in Israel. And so what happens is that eventually in Africa, there's another group of hominids who start evolving and they become modern humans. They leave Africa about 60 to 70,000 years ago and make their way north. And what happens is that the Neanderthals, who have no connection to the modern humans, eventually meet up right here in our little tiny piece of land. We are the crossroads between these continents. We are the crossroads between Africa, Europe, and Asia.
So is that unity, or is that meeting really unique to Israel then?
Yes, it's the only place in the world where we have now concrete proof that Neanderthals actually met Homo sapiens, modern humans, and they lived together in the same places, and they even interbred. They coexisted. They shared probably cultural aspect, inventions, and all that stuff. And they interbred. And what's exciting about the find near Sde Boker, near Kibbutz Sde Boker in the Negev, is that it's the southernmost place where we have concrete evidence that Neanderthals and modern humans actually met and lived in the same area together for about 6,000 years. Carbon-14 evidence of that. Only place in the world where we can actually show it scientifically.
All right, so
it is. It's so cool.
Can you give me a little bit more information about the proof that there was some sort of love story here? Because you're saying that we believe they have some cultural overlap, that they probably live together, but where's the love story come from?
You say love story. I haven't seen anything that says love story. You're just a romantic, Aaron. But the thing is, what happens is we know that I believe, and now I'm not an expert at this, but I believe there are some groups of modern people around the world that carry about 2 to 3% of Neanderthal genes. We carry the Neanderthal genes in us. It's proof that we actually interbred. Now we know about 50 to 60,000 years ago. Wow. And we know that this happened starting in the Negev. We also, in Israel, we found Neanderthal and modern humans living together in the caves of the Carmel Mountains, near the riverbanks of the Kishon River near Haifa. All right, but this is the southernmost part, and they actually have more modern ways of carbon dating this. So this is the most concrete scientific proof that they live together. Now, we know that they interbred because we today carry some genes from Neanderthals who ended up going extinct about 40,000 years ago around the world.
Anat Harel, this is an incredible discovery, and thank you so much for giving us some more information about it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
In other news, an entire natural habitat in Israel, the only one of its kind on the planet, now under existential threat. The underground cave, cut off from the rest of the world for over 5 million years, housing an incredibly unique and diverse ecosystem. But it could all be destroyed in a heartbeat if pending floodwater management plans are allowed to continue. Here to discuss, Chief Scientist with the Israel Nature and Parks Authority, Dr. Yehoshua Shkedi. Dr. Shkedi, thank you so much for being with us. Now, first off, what can you tell us about this ecosystem? Where exactly is it, and what makes it so unique?
Well, this ecosystem is in the middle of Israel, just between Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, next to the main road. It is underground. It is very unique because the primary production, like usually what we see what plants are doing, when they are taking CO2 from the air and converting it into sugars, using daylight, this ecosystem depends on energy that is coming from inside the earth, from sulfur ions, sulfides, that gives energy to the system and make what we call chemosynthesis. Chemosynthesis meaning you're doing the synthesis of sugar without daylight. That's why it is so unique. It is underground. It was covered for 5 million years and maybe more. And it was opened up just when the mine just opened a hole in the ecosystem that threatened it. And now there is another threat to the cave.
Well, so as I understand it, having been cut off from sunlight for so long, we have creatures that are translucent or clear, colorless, or often blind. What kinds of creatures call this cave home, and what have we or can we learn from them and from this site, really?
The creatures that live there, of course, the creatures that do not see daylight in their life, meaning if you have there scorpions or small crabs, they do not have eyes, or their eyes do not see, because they live in complete darkness, and they cannot use eyes for nothing. More than that, they lost their colors, so they are all whitish, very pale, and they are really different from everything we know above ground. We can learn from that. It cannot serve us in a kind of ecosystem services, but just knowing that the system is there, just knowing that the amount of creatures that live there are so unique, it's for me, it's amazing and wonderful.
So what happens if this ecosystem is destroyed? What are the ultimate ramifications of that, if there are ramifications that extend beyond the destruction of the ecosystem itself?
I cannot answer that. I think if you have an ecosystem like that, it is huge. It is unique on the international level. Nothing else is there. I think this is enough to protect it. I believe this is enough to protect it, and that's what we're doing.
So I understand that you're looking to establish the site as a protected nature reserve. Are you making progress in that front?
Yes, it is not as fast as I want it to be, but yes, there are plans to make it a nature reserve, even though no people will come there for a visit, because if we were coming there for a visit, we bringing with us all kind of pests into the cave, and we're bringing light, and we're bringing oxygen, and we're changing the ecosystem. So we are creating a nature reserve that nobody is going to enter except some scientists, while we're doing monitoring, and nothing else will go there. Yes, that's the goal, to make a nature reserve which will be closed forever for 99.99999% of humans on Earth.
All right, well, I know that in addition to that, you've also provided the government with some alternatives for how to deal with the rainwater, so I wish you good luck
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Shkedi, thank you so much.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. Thank you.
Now, you might not expect to find Arayas, a Lebanese Middle Eastern barbecue dish, on your picky eaters list, but they will surprise you. In this recipe, SD from kosher.com is stuffing pitas with a combo of ground beef and ground lamb, along with plenty of fresh herbs. Pop them onto the grill, and you'll have a healthy, kid-friendly sandwich in minutes. Take a look.
Grill season is the best season. You can just walk outside and smell what the whole neighborhood is having for dinner. But this dish will have all your neighbors knocking on your door asking if they can join you. Today we're making Arayas, which are seasoned beef and lamb patties, but before they're grilled, they're actually stuffed into pitas. So all those drippings don't get lost in the grill. They're actually soaked up by the pita, and you get every bite of that flavor. We've got 2 pounds of a mix of beef and lamb in this bowl. If you don't like lamb, you can just use beef. We're gonna add a little minced onion, some cilantro and parsley, and some garlic. I've got 4 garlic cloves in here. These are actually the garlic cubes. And we're just gonna season this up with some salt and pepper and a little cumin. Oh, it smells so good already. It really does. You just want to gently mix this. The more you mix the meat mixture, it'll be a little tough, and you don't want that. You want it nice and juicy. So just be a little gentle with it and distribute everything evenly. My kids actually love this for dinner, and they barely like anything that I make. So a lot of times if I'm having a very busy night, I actually get some seasoned beef and lamb patties from my local supermarket, and I use that to just stuff the pitas. But this kind of takes the flavor up a few notches. So what you want to do is open the pita like that and just stuff the meat right inside. Not too much, and you can squeeze it from the outside so that you get it into all of the nooks and crannies down in there. And then press until you can see the meat right there. And there's your filled Arayas. And we're gonna put these on the grill, open side down. Now that these are filled, we're gonna head off to the grill pan. And if you got some leftover meat, buy more pita. Grill pan is nice and hot, it's smoking. And we're just gonna put them cut side down right on there. You don't need to grease it because the meat has enough grease within it. These need about 5 minutes per side on the grill, including the cut side. So that's 3 sides, 15 minutes on the grill, or you can check the internal temperature. When it hits 160, you know they're done. And the only thing they need are copious amounts of trina. For more summer dinner ideas, go to kosher.com. We're not home. Unless I'm too old and I can't hear those things. You like that? What are we doing? I need to go. I want to leave. So I'm leaving.
Okay, so then I want to that.
Easy does it.
All right, Israel has lifted almost all pandemic limitations, and most notable is the return of the theater. So television host and content creator Liran Notik joins me with more on the best upcoming performances. Liran, I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you so much.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me, first of all. I just came back from the UK, and
okay.
things are different here. It's crazy.
Yeah, we're open.
Yeah. So in Israel, things are open again, and people go to theaters and cinemas, and that's why I'm here for. First of all, for me, culture in Israel, it's like Mediterranean salad, sort of. You have lots of ingredients. Everything is so fresh. Sometimes it's crazy. You have surprises.
And it's cut very small, so you can't mix it out.
Yeah, so that's how I look up to the Israeli cultures. theaters and actors and young talents have so much to give here. My sister is an actress. My brother-in-law is an actor. My friends are actors who just desire to go back. So we have today 4 events that I just wanted to recommend on. The first one is well, it's an oldie. It's an old school that the Revolution Orchestra decided to renew, we can say. So first of all, let's have a look. Small glimpse from the new show. It's called A Concerto for the Gashash HaChiver. There's no other way to say it. Let's have a look.
Let's check it out.
So as you can see, Agashash HaChiver is very old school type of theme.
Yeah.
My parents were growing up on that theme. Well, I actually have to say that I Wikipedia it sort of, because I didn't know what is the year that Agashash HaChiver was established for.
But I know exactly. My parents also, they grew up on that.
Yeah, so what the Revolution Orchestra tried to do here is to rejoin young generation and our parents and great-grandparents together at the same theater. And what a great way to do that without any lighting, new lighting to do that. I mean, you can have the cinema, as you can see, the screen.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's getting crazier. And you have Dikla Dar and Dror Keren, which are both beautiful, amazing, talented actors. And they came together to the stage to sort of give it a kick to the salad, as I can say.
Some spice.
Yeah,
and gave it some zazz.
It's totally that. I mean, so first of all, I have to say, I tried to buy my parents tickets. There's no tickets. It's all sale, so overbooked. So try to re-ticket, try to rebook things with them specifically.
Yeah.
Dates will open again soon.
Okay, so let's move on to some of the other 3. Maybe something we can go and see.
Yeah, no, you definitely can go see them, but you have to be, on time to just book it. So the next one will be Nikui Rosh LaShabak, which is, if people know, I mean, Shabak is one of the most...
Shin Bet, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the most well-organized, respected, secretive organization in Israel. What happens when you take the Shabak, this ginormous institute, and make it into a comedy, a play on stage? Let's have a look.
אוי ואבוי, איזה שמח, בבקשה, מחמוד חנה מחמוד, ואת, אל תעשי שום דבר שאני לגמרי הייתי עושה.
כן, תשלחו את המח"ט.
מפקד חטיבה.
כן, שיגיע לתאג"ד.
תחנה איסוף גדודי.
ושיביא איתו את השב"ח.
שוהה בלתי חוקי.
All right, so what did we see?
It's a comic play. It's getting crazy. I mean, the actors are running on stage. There's lots of going on. They try to show you what happens when the Shabak becomes so comic. So the secrets behind this institute getting messy when a love story comes to the stage. So I recommend it to anybody. I have to see it. I didn't buy a ticket yet, but just look up for it. Nikui Rosh LaShabak, and I'm sure you'll find tickets.
It looks very entertaining. Liran, hit me up with what's number 3.
The third one, Agan Shel Tziki, it's the Tziki's Garden. It's 4 actors that joined together for indie show, and I just bought tickets for today at 8 o'clock. I'm gonna see it. I heard it's so hilarious and crazy. It's about that kindergarten lady who is so messy. You know the hidden cameras, what happens when you see the torturing stuff going on?
So I try not to watch those if I don't have to.
So again, I'm talking about comic play.
Sure.
What happens when kindergarten getting messy, and this specific lady, which acting by Tal Levy, what happens to her when she tried to have some registration for new parents to come? Let's have a look.
I can't tell if that is meant for adults or if it's meant for children.
I mean, no, it's for adult. First of all, it's
okay.
for
All right.
it's for adult. It's late night show. Do not send your child with.
So, yeah, it
with
looks
their-
colorful,
yeah.
but not. Okay.
No, not at all.
All right.
And the last one, I mean, I have to just give one more time shout out for the amazing singer-songwriter Adi Avrami, which she's a friend of mine already by now. She's climbing the stairs in the music industry in Israel and having her third music video, which exploding the YouTube already. She's done a huge show just 2 weeks ago, and I just want to show you a small glimpse from the show, and we'll talk about her. Yeah.
יש אלף אנשים ולכולם דעות, אלף מתלבטים אם לחיות או להיות סתם בן אדם, כלוא בין החומות של הפחדים שלו, של אנשים שלא העזו לנסות.
Beautiful voice.
So she has another show coming up on July 1st, and I'm gonna see it. I have to see everything. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, I'm doing the reviews.
You're the guy. You gotta have to go see it.
Sometimes I'm getting free tickets to see with my friends. Sometimes it's not, but it's worth every penny. And if you wanna just, support artists in Israel, there you go.
I think that's probably the best way we could end this.
Yeah.
Support the arts, support the theater.
And you have
support-
lots
yeah.
of amazing artists. I mean, it's not for nothing. It's worth it. Really.
Absolutely. Liran Notik, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And that's all for today's Good Week Israel. I hope that we've helped you start your week off with a smile. I'm Aaron Porras. See you next week.